The first time the drums played without anyone touching them was the night Baba Adrian died. We were sitting outside, waiting for the rain to pass. The sky had that grey color it gets before a storm, heavy, swollen, quiet. Then the drums started. 3 quick beats, then a pause. Then again. Everybody in the compound looked toward the shrine yard. The battered drums were hanging on the wall where they always were. Nobody was near them. But they were playing. Slow, steady, and clear. I should tell you, Baba Adrian was our village drummer. He was over 80 and had been playing since before my mother was born. They said his hands could make spirits dance. He used to say, the drum doesn't speak for everyone. Only for those who listen with both ears. That night, when the drums started playing by themselves, he was lying in his room, dying. We didn't know yet. My name is Femi. I'm 26. I live in a small town near Ilisa in Osun State. I'm not a superstitious person. I studied engineering in Ife, I have an Android phone, and I only go to church on big holidays. But this one thing, I can't explain it. That night, around 9 p.m., I was sitting with my uncle and my cousin stood outside. The storm clouds were moving, but no rain yet. The air smelled like dust and smoke from the cooking fires. Then the drums began, bo, 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 pause, bo, bo, bo. At first, we thought someone was joking. But when we went closer, there was no one there. The drumsticks were still hanging on the nail. The goats in the pen were restless. Even the wind had stopped. Then, from Baba Adrian's hut, we heard a loud cough. My uncle ran inside. A few minutes later, he came out, quiet. He's gone, he said. Right then, the drum stopped. 3 short beats. Silence. Then thunder rolled across the sky. And the rain came. For 7 days, it rained. Non-stop. The elders said it was Oya mourning him, the goddess of storm and drum. They buried him on the 3rd day. After that, nobody touched the drums. They said they were sacred now, that Baba had entered them. But on the 7th night, when the rain finally stopped, we heard the drums again. And that's when the real story began. That night, I couldn't sleep. I was in my mother's room because our roof was still leaking. Around midnight, I heard the sound, faint at first, like someone testing the skin of the drum. Then clearer. A rhythm I knew well. It was the same beat Baba used to play when he called the hunters before festival time. I thought maybe one of the boys snuck out to play. But when I stepped outside, there was no one. Just the sound, coming from the shrine. And then, a voice. Low, rough, old. The drums are thirsty. I froze. The voice came from behind the shrine wall. I called out, who's there? No answer. Just another slow beat on the drum. Then again, the voice. Bring them palm oil. I didn't wait to hear more. I ran back inside. The next morning, I told my uncle. He looked at me for a long time and said, don't speak about it outside. People will hear, and they'll make it into something big. But later that day, old Mama Doing came to our compound saying she dreamt of Baba Adrian sitting by the river, calling for his drums. That same evening, the village head called a meeting. He said the elders had agreed to perform the Igbo rite, to honor the spirit of the drummer. They needed to infeed the drums. They told me I would help. I didn't want to. I told them I didn't believe in such things anymore. But the Babalawo looked at me and said, you heard him, didn't you? My mouth went dry. I didn't answer. He smiled and said, when the drum calls your name, you don't pretend it's thunder. That night, they took the drums to the old grove outside town, the one nobody enters except during festivals. We went barefoot, each of us carrying a small calabash of palm oil and kola nut. The forest was dark and wet. The air was heavy, but quiet. When we reached the clearing, they placed the drums on a flat stone and poured a little oil on each. Then the Babalawo started chanting. The sound of his voice went up and down like the wind. I was holding a lantern, trying not to drop it. Then I heard the first beat. Bo. Just one. The Babalawo stopped chanting. Everyone froze. Then the second beat came. Bo. And another. Bo. 3 times, like before. This time, though, it didn't stop. The rhythm picked up, faster, louder, like a heart. And in the middle of it, I swear I heard Baba Adrian's voice singing, low, joyful, strong. The others started chanting again, louder now, like answering him. Then the Babalawo shouted something I didn't understand, and suddenly, silence. The drum stopped. And a wind blew through the clearing so cold it felt like dry hands on my skin. The lantern went out. Someone screamed. By the time we relit it, the drums were gone. Only palm oil remained on the stone, thick and shining. They searched the grove till morning. Nothing. The elder said it meant Baba's spirit had accepted the offering and taken the drums home. They told everyone not to talk about it again. But strange things started happening after that. When the women pounded yam, the pesos would make rhythm without them meaning to. When rain came, the thunder beat in the same 3 strokes, bo, bo, bo. And sometimes, at night, if you walked past Baba's hut, you'd hear soft drumming, no hands, just sound. 1 week later, I was in the yard fixing my uncle's bicycle when a small boy ran up. He said, "Uncle Femi, the drums are back." I followed him to the shrine. The drums were there again, hanging on the wall like nothing happened. The skins were clean, no oil, no dirt. I touched one, it was warm. That night, I dreamt of Baba. He was sitting by the river, his hands resting on the drum. He looked younger. He said, "They remember." Then I woke up. I tried to forget it all. I went back to Ife, continued my work, tried to move on. But sometimes, when it rains hard, I hear those 3 beats in the thunder. Once, during a wedding in town, the band's batter player fainted mid-song. When he woke, he said he saw an old man sitting beside him, drumming with invisible hands. He described Baba Adrian exactly. Last year, during Osen Festival, I went back home. The new drummers were preparing for the procession. I went to greet them. One of them asked if I was the engineer who hears drums in the rain. I laughed. "That's just stories," I said. He smiled, then leaned closer. "Last week, we were practicing," he said. And the drums started by themselves. Same rhythm. 3 beats. I didn't say anything. That night, it rained again. I stayed in Baba's old hut, the same one where he died. Around midnight, I heard it, bo, bo, bo. Then silence. Then a whisper, right by my ear. "Don't forget to listen with both ears." I turned, but there was no one. Just the sound of rain on the roof, soft and slow, like drumming. I don't tell people this story often. They'll say it's just the wind, or imagination, or some trick of the mind. But I know what I heard. Sometimes, the old things don't die. They just change their hands. And maybe, one day, when the drums call again, I'll answer. With both ears.